Wells, a girl who's been missing out of Hawkins County for more than a year, has been released from jail. Wells was not serving time in connection with his daughter's disappearance, instead for a DUI arrest in October of 2021. This past summer, Wells had a 6-month hearing where the judge decided he would be released this week without having to complete any rehabilitation. During his time behind bars, he wrote letters to his daughter's alleged captors. To date, nobody has been charged in her disappearance.
During inspection of inmate Kolaski email, Sergeant something placed an email from inmate Chris Watts, who his number is, Chris Watts is number 674796. I would love that for them to call, instead of Watts, call out 674796. Get over here. On hold for further review. The email was intended to be sent to the email address and has been redacted. Associated, okay, just the email address is redacted. Associated to the name, the Kimberly Griffin. Is that one of his? Because like every one of the people that knows Chris has had the fallout with him. So is that another one of them that has fallen out, or is she back? I can't keep up. During the email, Watts states, "Send those panties. You'll probably have to wring them out first because I soak every pair." I didn't expect that. That's so gross. So gross. Okay. I need you so bad. I will F-word you so hard. Kimberly, get to me. This request is a violation of policy. Section 1, shall be allowed, packages which contains allowed or prohibited property of clothing shall be processed in accordance with, The emails also in violation of policy. Pornographic includes but is not limited to written materials. I'm not going to read this because I'm having a hard time seeing.
Yeah.
I'm Amy. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. I've missed you guys. I've really missed you guys. I've had an awful few days. I mean, just like awful. So if you're in the business of sending good vibes or praying for somebody, I could use prayers right now. I could use a miracle right now. I'm at that point. I really could use a miracle. But I've missed you, and I have decided to come on with my aviator, not showing my camera today because just not doing that good. All the tears have left me puffy and gross. But I want to update you on some things before we go into the Sarah Boone case, which the Sarah Boone case is the case of the woman who zipped up her boyfriend in the suitcase. She tricked him in there and zipped him up and then proceeded to sit on a couch while he begged to get out of the suitcase and watched him and listened to him suffocate and die in the suitcase. She ultimately passed out, and she goes to trial. She goes to trial April 10th, and I plan on being there at the trial, bringing it to you. I will be doing live video, with meaning that you will see the trial if they allow it. If they don't allow it, then I will be outside of the courtroom telling you about it. So we'll be there. And then the Letitia Stouch is coming up on April 3rd. And also the Lori Vallow is going to be on April 3rd too. But Letitia Stout, that's the Gannon Stout case. The April 3rd, they're doing jury selection right now. So they'll be over the jury selection. So the trial literally starts on April 3rd. Lori Vallow, they will only be beginning to do the jury selection on April 3rd. So we'll be doing the Letitia Stout. Oh, these words. You know, you guys, why did I choose to do this? Because I can't say things. I don't know why I want to do this so much. But the Letitia Stout case, the Gannon Stout case, will begin on April 3rd. And then the Lori Vallow, they're just doing jury selection. And Chad Daybell has been removed from that case. Hi, Dallas. Has been removed from that case. They're not being tried together, so they haven't said when the Chad Daybell trial will be, but I hope to be in Idaho for that one. And then the Idaho 4 will be on June 26th, and I hope to be in Idaho for that one. And then there's some travel places that I've just like the Watts. I want to go to the cemetery. I want to go to Shenan's, both of her houses. I want to go to Bojangles. I want to go to the Lazy Dogs. I want to go to Anadarko. I want to go to the oil site, you know, the Idaho 4, of course. I want to go to Brian's PA and WA residences. I want to go to the King Road home. I want to go to the bar that the girls were at. And I want to go to the grub truck and get the what was it that they ordered? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I want to say shrimp scampi, but I know it's not that. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know. I'll know by the time I get there what it is. But today is the the case of Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone. Here, let me show you. I did a quick video. We'll watch it's like a 30-second, 1 minute, 30 or 60-second video. And then we'll pop in and see. First, I wanted to go, I saw the behavioral panel has the case up, the Sarah Boone case, and they are analyzing her interrogation. So I want to go in and watch a little bit of that. I want to go in and watch the video of him actually zipped up into the suitcase, and then we'll be ready. I might do another Sarah Boone before. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I'm just looking at something really quick. There it is. I was trying to find the video that I created, but hold on 1 second. Okay. I'm going to share that screen first. Oh, you guys, you know what I did today? I went live on Instagram for the first time. I can't include the lives with the StreamYard. I have to like just do an Instagram live. So I popped over there and told them about this live. But I don't know. It was pretty exciting for me. Let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. You are seeing what I am seeing. So this is like a minute video that I did so you can get kind of a feel for what we're about to go into if you don't know anything about the Sarah Boone case. It's in Florida, by the way. That's why I'm able to go to her case in a week. Let's do it.
Sarah. For everything you've done to me. Sarah. For everything you've done to me. Sarah. You. Sarah. You. Sarah. Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it up. Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Therapy. Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me. Sarah. Sarah.
Okay, so that is a little snippet about what we're about to go into. I mean, she's very, very obviously drunk, right? Yeah, you can hear it, right? You can, it's a drunk slur. Um, as hard as when you're drunk like that and you want to talk normally, or you think you're talking normally and you don't know you're slurring, but that was a drunk slur. What she apparently is going to be doing, her defense is battered women. What do you think about that, you guys? You know what I think about it? It pisses me off. It really pisses me off that she's using battered women, because then it weakens the battered women defense when it's actually a battered woman. You know what I mean? Like I have my BA in social psych. I was a social worker at two domestic shelters. I was the court advocate and the children's room supervisor. And then the other one, I just basically um, was the social worker. And the children's room. I always did the children's room, because each shelter typically has a children's playroom, and I would do that. So it really angers me when I hear her doing this defense. But let's let's move forward, and let's go into some of her videos. I think we're going to do the behavioral panel first. First, there's a really short one that I thought was really interesting. Oh, I think I need to take a break real quick. Hi, guys. This is Parawoman Radio, and I'm Amy. If you could give this live a thumbs up, a heart, a smile, well, however you do it on the platform you're coming from, because today we're over on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. So happy to see you guys. Facebook just actually paid me $50 for some of my videos. So it just makes me happy because I'm growing. I have far more subscribers over on Facebook than I do over here on YouTube. I have over 4,000 over on Facebook. YouTube, we're close. Not close. We're getting there to be monetized. We're at like 670 or so 670 or so. um, Sorry, sometimes I have to make fun of myself. But that's where we're at, and we're wanting to get to 1,000 so we can begin the monetization. I know some people don't believe that I should be monetized. I've had some people say that, but I work really hard on my content, so it feels really good to get paid. And I think every creator that works hard should be monetized as well. So anyway, we're over on YouTube today. Hi, YouTube. So happy to see you. I see you over in the chat. Hi, Dallas, in case you didn't hear me say hi. And of course, we're over on, I wanted to go, I want people to see this video, so I put it over on Twitter. Hi, Twitter. I didn't do Twitch today because we only have one subscriber over on Twitch, but man, that subscriber shows up every single time. So that's why when I go over to Twitch, I go over to Twitch, because I see you guys, and I want to connect and make you happy. And so I hope I'm doing that. So getting back, let's watch and giving me a like, a thumbs up. It just helps me dance out into the algorithm and bring more people back to the party. It's just a completely free way to help me out. You can see it's like a free way to help me out. Liking it later makes me get paid for doing it by, YouTube and other places that I'm monetized. It's just like a good feeling to get paid, even $50. Last month it was $100 over on Instagram. So it's just a good feeling to know that your work is being watched and you're earning a little bit of money for it. It's not, you can't live on it, but it's enough to keep me going to want to continue with it. So here we go. This is Sarah Boone. They have like, I think, an hour-and-a-half video. I have it queued up. But first I wanted to watch this quick one where it says Sarah Boone's story. The major red flag exposed by Chase Hughes. Now, you guys that watch the behavioral panel, who is your favorite behavioral panelist? Put it down in the comments. Quick. And at the end of this video, I will tell you who my favorite is. And maybe who my least favorite is. Should I do least favorite? I'll think about it while we're watching it.
Really stood out to me in this clip here is that the story is completely chronological.
I just got here, so fill me in. No problem. Like, he and I were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You were putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make.
Just want to stop this so you guys, like, did you notice the change in her voice where she's not drunk, or she's probably like a little drunk here because she was so drunk in that video. I can't believe that she didn't wake up still with a blood point. What is it? A BPO blood point or a BPA? I don't know. A blood point. What is that called when you have a, anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Somebody will tell me it. I think she's an alcoholic, so she has to drink every day, or she suffers the consequences. And but can you notice the change in her voice?
New art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night. Okay. So then it's like
a bottle of wine.
We decided to play hide and seek, right? Okay. So he gets in the suitcase.
This is a huge red flag, but there's an exception to this. If you say, walk me through everything that happened, and you tell them to be chronological, you can't call that a red flag. She was not suggested to do this. So that would be a pretty big red flag for investigators. Most stories after any huge incident will start with the incident, or that will have the center stage, not the entire lead up in the story.
If you like this video,
I agree with that. What he was saying was, and I'm sure you guys get it too, that a story, when a person's telling the story, they won't jump into chronological. They'll jump right to the point, unless you say, take me through what happened from the beginning. And they didn't say that. So yeah, I can see that huge red flag right there. Okay, so I have a hard time deciding who my favorite panelist is. I have two of them, and I like them, I think, probably equally. And it's Chase and Mark. And, you know, if I were to say who I disliked the most, it would be those top two people. What are their names? I don't even remember what the top two people's names were. Greg and Scott. And for a long time, I thought they were brothers, but I don't think they're brothers. But anyway, probably stuff you really didn't care about. So we're going to speed up this for fair use, and we're not going to watch all of it because it's an hour and 41 minutes, 24 seconds. But I will put the link down in the description below, as always, so that if you want to watch the entire video, you can do that. So let's go.
About the interrogation of Sarah Boone. Greg, wants to tell us about the videos we're going to watch.
We'll keep this pretty short. She was arrested in 2020 for this murder. I think she was charged with second-degree murder. This is the Orange County Sheriff's Department, and the same two investigators are talking to her. This is a day later than when they went to talk to her on site.
So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, but maybe it's like a picture of them, the two of Tess and
The dogs.
and George, and them dancing. But I mean,
And that's the thing too. She was so drunk that she didn't know she had taken this video. She didn't know this video, the video of him in the suitcase and her sitting there. She didn't remember that she had taken that video. So busted, right? Yeah.
it's just Tess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found.
I also want to say that I am not making fun of alcoholics by any stretch of the imagination. I have extreme empathy for them. I worked at a substance abuse facility, was working towards my CAC. So I feel like working with people with substance abuse issues is working with people that are the closest to God and or the devil. And it's just really powerful work. But I am against zipping your fella into a suitcase and sitting there watching him suffocate.
And
die.
it was from your phone.
Mhm.
You see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
The female cop is like, oh, okay. I'm not going to let you ruin this moment for me because we have busted you. I'll fix that. No problem.
Doesn't last
Here
very
we go.
long.
It used to last a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Let me just grab some more.
It's not a problem. I will just fix the power, Sarah
No, I
Boone,
was just
and
simply
we will
asking
show it
because,
to you.
You had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked and,
No.
okay, why did you say it like that?
Me? Shocked? No.
I don't think you all understand who I am. Where,
Okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight A student. I am an outstanding mother to my
Sarah Boone is also somebody that I am so amazing that I couldn't have possibly done anything wrong. You don't know how amazing I am. You really don't know.
son.
But I'm going to
I
tell
excel
you.
at everything. I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock somebody in a suitcase?
Well, I didn't like completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
I didn't plan on passing out.
All right, Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, so what should have become an oath moment turns into a whale moment. When you are an interrogator, everything is about control. Everything's about me being in charge of the entire environment, not about going in with a dead battery. And actually the perp looking over and going, hey, your battery's dying. This is an opportunity to show a video that is very compromising. And what do? They come in and bumble that. That's not a good start to an interrogation. She's calm. I don't know why she's as calm as she is, but maybe she was just plowed when this thing happened. But there's no planning and prep here. She calmly points that out. Her breathing does increase, and you can see it because we're looking down on top of her. You see her breathing rate increase, and then she loses fluency. And Chase, you'll appreciate this. She says, "Ain," just like the guy from Stephen McDaniel video. "Ain." So she's lost fluency, and then she goes to a resume statement that is one of the dumbest I've ever heard. I'm a straight A student. This is a 40-something-year-old woman
That's what it is.
who zips a guy up in a suitcase, and that's her defense. That's not a good defense. So if I were interrogating her, I'd anchor her admission that she knew it wouldn't be good for him to stay in the suitcase that long and start from there. I would say, why'd you leave the hole, number one? And she'd say, well, I left the hole because he needed some air. Well, then why'd you go upstairs? Because she says, I wouldn't have left him zipped up and gone upstairs. So she's got some cognitive dissonance here just right by saying, look, I left a hole because I knew it was dangerous. I wouldn't have gone upstairs. So right there, you got the beginning of the whole problem. If you're already convinced of her guilt, which you are when you use this process, this is a Reed style process, ideally, but this is a Reed style process. You start off convinced of guilt and you're looking for a confession. This is not an intelligence interrogation. They should anchor what she starts off with by saying, I left it open enough that he could get some air and I didn't plan to go upstairs. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so here's a universal in terms of how all of us behave, no matter who you are or who you think you are, is we are all trying to defy gravity in some way. We're all, at most points in our life, in some kind of battle against gravity, no matter what sex you are, where you were born, who nurtured you. We're all trying to work with gravity. In this particular situation, the sticks and rubber bands that are holding her body together are not working at their full capacity. And so we get this convex abdomen where gravity has taken hold of her.
I actually have noticed that on her
Shoulders, and it's pulling her down. Now, you could say it's an abdominal retreat, and maybe there's some nervousness there, and I think that would be true as well. But as the shoulders are rolled forward and she's so sunk into that chair, I think she's really feeling the pressure of this whole situation, and it's dragging her down. If you want some interesting work on that concave abdomen, Cuddy, who's well known in the body language world, did some interesting papers on that abdominal retreat in pubescent females. Very, very interesting how the introduction of estrogen and body image will cause females to become concave there. Anyway, I'm with you, Greg. Straight A's, outstanding mother, excel at everything. Well, that's just grandiose at this point. And so, Greg, I think you're right. She doesn't show a lot of nervousness in the way that we'd expect it. She seems quite calm. She's got them kind of messing up clearly right from the get-go. I don't think it's a tactic of theirs to have a dodgy battery at all. I think it's an absolute mistake. But yet she is concave, and she's going for these grandiose images as well to prove herself. Not looking good from the get-go, even with some terrible mistakes going on from the interviewers. Scott, what do you got on this one?
All right. I'm not going to focus as much on her as I am on the interrogation. This is the worst interrogation I've ever seen in my life. It's not bungled and nothing went wrong. The whole thing is, this is not an interrogation. It's just some people fussing in a room. That's all it ends up being. After she brings up the part about her boyfriend being in a suitcase, in walks that detective with a new cord for the computer. After this guy's been talking, the other detective has been asking her questions. And while she's answering his question, he gets up and walks over and starts dicking around with a wall plug while she's talking, while she's telling him the answer to the question he asked. And then when she finishes her answer, he says, "Okay," and gets up, doesn't look at her, and shuts the door. I was dumbfounded by that. And you can say this is a technique. This is some kind of, it's not. There's never seen this before, never heard this, and you'll see it's not a technique because it doesn't get any better than this. The body language of disinterest.
I'm trying to fix the battery, and that's all they were focused on.
Disrespect
I like to watch this panel because they point out the things.
Incredible here that they have for there's no rapport building. There's nothing. I don't think they know what they're doing. And we're going to see that as we go through this. Maybe they're burnt out, but their disinterest in it just floored me. Chase, what do you got?
It's Florida.
Absolutely agree. While this isn't a great interrogation, the setup of this interrogation room is phenomenal. It's great. There's no table between them. There's no one sitting between the suspect and the door. This is the setup that we should have seen, in lots of other videos. Those two rules of thumb should be in every interrogation room. We see it in this one. I just wish the interrogators were there too. I too am a longtime victim of Panasonic Toughbook battery life. I can attest they are awful. But there's a lot of stuff there. You also notice that the door is not blocked. There's a clear line to the door. That's a good, important point that I've always heard in training, and I've seen it. I'm seeing the results in real life. If the interrogators had the ability to spot behavior, they would know that one of her biggest objections to confession would be feeling like she isn't known or appreciated. And what do? She's not known. They don't even look at her. They don't build rapport with her. They don't do anything to make exactly what she needs. And not everyone needs to feel known and appreciated. Some people need different things. And we'll get into that in the next couple. That's all I got.
Yeah, let me add one thing. I taught interrogation, and I've seen few that were this bad, because at least my students listened to what the person is saying and didn't say, well, hold on, don't tell me that. I want to ask you something else. That's the first step in interrogation. Listen.
I'm a little nervous about continuing with this behavioral panel because I've never watched it live. So I don't know what they hit you with. I know like Dr. Phil is like a nightmare, and I know they're good friends with Dr. Phil. So I'm really nervous about watching this. So I think we might just move on, and because I don't know what they do, and they make me nervous. It makes me really nervous. So I'm going to stop watching, and I have, let's see, hold on a second. I have News Nation. What did I do? I have News Nation. Oh yeah, I have News Nation and Law and Crime, some of their videos. So let's pop over to Law and Crime. Make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, let's pop over to Law and Crime and look into their videos. So you can see this is the interrogation video that we were just watching. Police girl accused murderer Sarah Boone the morning after her boyfriend. Do you want to watch where's the 911 call? Let's do that. Let's find the 911 call. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
What is the location of the emergency?
It's Monday, February 24th. There's a crisis at the home of Sarah Boone, prompting her to call 911.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send a line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
The fire department takes over the call, and for the next few minutes, officials are obtaining critical details about what happened.
Now, tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a case and we were playing. And it's like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened.
Okay, you hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Fire and rescue instruct Boone on how to give chest compressions.
Just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for
She's
me, okay?
stopping and talking.
32. Please hurry.
Okay, ma'am, they're getting there as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
EMS arrived within minutes and advised Boone that her boyfriend, Jorge Torres, had been down too long and there was nothing more they could do. Boone explained she and Torres were drinking the night before and thought it would be funny if he got inside of a suitcase for a game of hide and seek.
She said they had one bottle of wine.
The next day, deputies returned and arrested Boone and charged her with second-degree murder in Torres's death. Boone's story about a childhood game gone awry unraveled when investigators say they found video on her cell phone showing Boone taunting and laughing at Torres while he was struggling to get out of the suitcase. Police say he was yelling he couldn't breathe and asking Boone for help. According to police, Boone was captured on video saying, "That's what I feel like when you cheat on me." When confronted with the video, officers say she told them she didn't remember those moments. But to investigators, those moments add up to motive for second-degree murder.
Unbelievable. Hide and seek, really? That Let's bring in Court TV special contributor Ashley Banfield and Court TV anchor Julie Grant. Ashley, I remember the Melanie McGuire case, but in the suitcase after chopping the body up. This one, how does this even happen? Like, how do you get someone?
This one reminds me of the case of the woman who killed her husband by playing a game of blindfold and tying up his hands, and then she started stabbing him, but it was like a game where they were going to sample foods, I think. And she also had a boyfriend, and she had killed the girlfriend or the wife of the boyfriend. What was that? And she's still in jail. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? And it's like it was like in New York, or it was the East Coast, maybe Maine, or I don't know. But this is what this reminds me of that. Although this woman was like a scientist, the one that I'm talking about, not Sarah Boone. So it's like kinda, but not the same.
One inside a suitcase. And do you think he went in there voluntarily?
It's all a bit weird. I'll give you that. And I will add that Melanie McGuire's choice in luggage was, I think, Kenneth Cole, and they were matching. I mean, she really had class in the murder that she committed. This one is odd, though. It's hard not to give her that due when she says it was all a bad game that just kind of got out of hand. I'd been drinking too much Chardonnay, and I just felt.
I will give her that this is something that just got out of hand and she passed out. So, but I think she's the one that suggested they do this. They play this game. And I don't know, just because you're drunk, that's not a defense, unfortunately.
Fell asleep.
Drunk via wine.
Except for those pesky videos, Vinny, that tend to show up on your phone when you're just too stupid to not record your crimes. And for her to yell those things out on videotape, let's just repeat them for the audience. For everything you've done to me, blank you, stupid. And that's on you. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
So the kinds of things that, whatever her story is, a juror is going to have a really tough time getting past that.
Julie, I'm trying to figure out how he ends up in the suitcase, right? Because if the plan is to kill.
Here, let's see. Dallas says, I haven't followed this case, Amy. This is new to me, Amy. Yeah. Well, I think it came about, like, we saw it like 8 months ago and it was really hard for me to watch because listening to him plead like that is like a really hard thing for me to hear. So I didn't like pay attention to it too much, but someone told me recently that it was coming up and and it's going to start on April 10th and I'll be there. Maybe I'll see Banfield. I wonder who they're going to send to this trial.
Kill him in the suitcase.
Vinny,
I mean, he's not going to volunteer.
Or do you think it will be who's the guy with the silver hair? Brian Enteman, is that it?
Voluntarily going there, unless maybe they were playing hide. Why would you? I don't even understand.
Nancy Grace. I don't think Nancy Grace is going to pick this up.
Hide and seek in a suitcase. That's
right.
Can you explain any of this, Julie? Because I can't.
Yeah, like what the hide and seek is you're supposed to hide and then they're supposed to find you. But if he's in the suitcase, we know where he is. He knows where he is and she knows where he is. So where is the hide and seek portion of this game? I'm trying to figure that out.
Honest to God, I wish I could. What are they, like 10 years old, hide and seek? Let's get drunk and play hide and seek and get inside of a suitcase? Really?
She also pushed him down the steps in the suitcase. She did that too.
Really? Two rational adults? I don't think so. It's all, as Ashley said, very weird, very bizarre, and how it escalated from this so-called game, this drinking game where they're playing around the house, to her being charged with second-degree murder is really beyond me. But one thing I do know about this couple is they've got a history of alcohol and abuse. In 2018, Sarah Boone was charged with battery and strangulation after, guess what? The two went to a bar, they were drinking, came home, got into a physical fight. But then the case ended up being dropped because they both went to court and said they didn't want this to move forward, didn't want to testify against each other, yada, yada, yada. Here we are. And we know that neighbors are reporting that it's awfully loud in that apartment that they share, routinely, a lot of yelling, a lot of fighting. So really that goes to an MO, if prosecutors have one, that look, this was second-degree murder, maybe not premeditated, maybe not planned, but really showed a depraved heart in committing this crime and a total disregard for human life, Vinny. Unbelievable.
Ashley, I want to get back to the first question, how he gets in there to begin with.
I love you, Vinny.
If he,
by you, you're like, no.
Help me get him into the suitcase. But I mean, help me figure out the game of hide and seek, because that's not a game of hide and seek. If everybody knows where he is, that's not a game of hide and seek.
Get in the suitcase.
Well, and the reason I say this is
that's a game of seek
the jury will want to know, because if he gets in voluntarily, maybe it's a game of hide and seek that goes bad at some moment.
I mean, but how would she get him in there under his, without him How does she get him in there without him accepting to go in there?
Then it's
He went
something
in on
less
his
than
own
murder.
somehow.
Whereas maybe does she at gunpoint or threatening
Oh.
way say, get in the suitcase, right?
So, right. And do you remember when those pesky videos come back to haunt you? Pesky science can also come back to haunt you. And his autopsy showed some pesky science for her defense. And let me just go over some of the important details. He had injuries all over his body, long nail scratches.
Well, he had injuries all over his body because partly probably because he was in the suitcase and she sent him down the stairs. And they were arguing, and probably that's where the injuries came.
To his upper back, a
Nails.
large nail scratch to the back of his neck, contusions to his left shoulder, left skull, and left forehead. And apparently the arrest affidavit said that the forehead contusions were considered caused by blunt force trauma. So that's what the reports tell us. And so what I'm trying to, when I try to put my, pieces of the puzzle together, I'm thinking that maybe he was battered and was slightly, semi-conscious and ended up in the suitcase. But on video, he can be heard begging for his life, saying, seriously, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You got to let me out of here. And the video shows him pushing and trying to get out as well. So he may have gone in involuntarily, and then been fully conscious when he realized the situation he was in.
Yeah, that's what I think the trial is going to be about, because the video, at the end clearly demonstrates that she's not helping him when he's in distress at that moment. Julie Grant, quickly, before we run out of time here, does she have to testify here to explain this situation if she's looking to either be convicted of something less or perhaps a not guilty?
Yes.
Yeah, I think she does. I think she does need to testify. Of course, it's her right to remain silent. But here, when we have only two people in that apartment who know exactly what went down, and one of them cannot share their version of events because they're deceased, I think it's to her benefit if she does. Also, I think it's to her benefit if she gets a mental health evaluation and a drug and alcohol evaluation as well.
I'm sure she has by now. She has to have by now had that done. You know what I mean? Like, has to have had it done. So let's see. That wasn't really the full 911 call, but that was pretty good. I thought so. I like Vinny. You know what? I like Banfield too, but she's just like, her reporting is kind of, she needs to. Oh, wait a minute. This was 2 years ago I said 8 months ago. No, I guess this was 2 years ago for real. Let's see. Let's see. Wait, some of these are from 3 years ago. All right. Let's see. Was this the one that we just watched? Let's see. Is this the one we just watched?
911, what is the location of your emergency?
It's Monday.
It is the one we just watched. Let's see this one.
Developing, a woman set to face a judge this morning after a deputy made a disturbing discovery in her Winter Park home. Investigators say she zipped her boyfriend in a suitcase and then left him to die. And as News 6's Mark Lehman found, the couple...
Let me see. When? This was 3 years ago. So this happened 3 years ago. Wow. Well, it must have happened around COVID, and it's just
had a long history of domestic violence.
Court records show the couple involved in this have both been arrested on domestic violence charges. Investigators say the girlfriend in this brought up that history in video she recorded on her cell phone. All of this while they say her boyfriend was zipped in that suitcase, pleading for help. 42-year-old Sarah Boone taken away in handcuffs on Tuesday in a bizarre case that left her boyfriend dead. Deputies say Jorge Torres Jr. suffocated after being zipped in a suitcase and left for several hours. His body was found at an apartment along France Lane in Winter Park Monday afternoon. According to an arrest affidavit, Boone called 911, saying the two were drinking and playing a game of hide and seek Sunday night. That's when she said they both thought it would be funny if Torres got into a suitcase. Boone told investigators she passed out in her bed, forgetting about her boyfriend until the next morning. But detectives say they found videos on her cell phone that tell a much different story. They say in the clips, Jorge repeatedly kept calling out Sarah's name, screaming for help, and saying he can't breathe. According to the report, Boone replied saying, "That's what you do when you choke me." Investigators say she is also heard saying, "That's on you. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me." Detectives say those videos were enough to place Boone under arrest, where she's now facing a charge of second-degree murder. And the arrest report also stated that Torres had a cut on his lip and bruising around his eye when his body was found. As for Boone, she remains locked up here in the Orange County Jail and is scheduled to appear before a judge sometime in the next hour. Reporting in Orange County, Mark Lehman, Getting Results, News 6.
I find her to be annoying. And can you imagine having to be in a close space with her, like prison or jail? Ugh, it would be a nightmare. Let's see if we see anything over on, we're going to go over on News Nation. I want to remind you, this is Para Women Radio, and I'm Amy, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. If you could give this live likes, a thumbs up, whatever, however you do it on the platform you're on. Today we're doing the live on Instagram. Or not Instagram. I did my first live today over on Instagram. We're over on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Hi, guys. I'm glad you're here with me. And hello to everybody in the replay. It just helps me dance out into the algorithm, party out there, and bring more people back to our party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's so appreciated. I want to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, please ring the bell to be notified. I want to thank all my current subscribers. I see you. I'm getting more every single day. I love you. You're my core. Once I hit 1,000, then it's no more a core. My core 1,000. And I'm so happy that you're here, and know that I love and appreciate you. Mwah, Amy. If that was a letter. It wasn't. It was off the top of my head. Okay, attorney defense has tough road ahead in Florida suitcase murder trial. Morning in America. That was 10 days ago. Oh, yeah, well, let's do this. Let's make it. Can I set a time frame? No, I can't because I'm in the News Nation. Or maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know how to. Ooh, this one looks interesting on the Brian Kohlberger. I had to open that and save it for later. Ooh, that looks really good. Okay, let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. They really don't have a lot. I guess we'll watch. Well, the defense is battered.
Let's take it to Florida, where in just a few weeks, the
Battered
so-called
victim
suitcase murder trial gets underway. If you don't know what we're talking about, Sarah Boone is facing second-degree murder charges. Investigators say she stuffed her boyfriend, Jorge Torres Jr., into a suitcase during a game of hide-and-seek back in 2020. She even recorded his pleas for help on video as he died inside.
Sarah. You. Sarah. Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it up. Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously. Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Wow, that is just horrifying.
It's
let's bring in
really
criminal defense
hard,
attorney
isn't
and
it, you
founder
guys?
and senior partner of Need.
Do you find it hard to listen to and watch? I just do. It's just so.
Jame Law, Mark Nejame. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
So as a criminal defense attorney there in Florida, what is your reaction when you see that video of Sarah Boone basically ignoring her boyfriend's pleas for help?
That's horrific, of course. And the defense attorney has a tough road in front of him or her. But there are some defenses to this. And the reality of it is that they may be seeking a lesser charge. She's been charged with second-degree murder. And there is really a chance that they could be going for a manslaughter charge, which would have far lesser penalties.
Yeah.
Well, she's claiming that he abused her, and we do have records that show that they have both been charged with battery on each other in the past.
I like to watch Christina Randall, and she's from Florida, and she went to prison in Florida. And I don't know, Sarah Boone will probably go to the same prison that she went to, but the way she has described Florida prison, it sounds like a nightmare. It sounds like a holy hell. She said that she used to have to go to sleep with a sheet over her entire body, even when it was like the Florida heat, you know, when it's in the hundreds, because of the flies. She said flies would land on you constantly at night. Can you imagine?
But is
Can you
the
imagine?
battered partner defense here, is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. It's a tough road for them to go through, though. Florida does recognize battered woman syndrome, or battered spouse syndrome, I should say. It's typically the woman who's who's the victim in these matters. And but you have to really show that it's perpetual, that it's ongoing, that it's escalating. And so, as I understand it, there's been a back and forth.
Sounds like that it did escalate. It escalated certainly on her behalf. I mean, she strangled them, and they had to go to court, and they said, you know, we don't want to testify against each other.
Filed restraining orders against the other. So it's going to be a tough road to go, and they're going to need experts to come in to show her psychological position, and that she really felt like killing was her only way out. And not just for revenge, but it was really her only path to safety. And that's questionable in this case.
How do you do that when it's evident? Well, I mean, she said she passed out. So where was I don't know.
The limited amount that we see.
Where was the threat? Where was she afraid? Why was she afraid?
Now.
And as you said, that video is damning evidence. It is horrific evidence. She also said in her initial statement to police that she was drinking wine and that she went upstairs and fell asleep and she forgot about him. But she's there basically watching him die, is the way the video plays. And again, we don't have all the context. We just have that video. Is that kind of open and shut when it comes to a prosecutor?
No, nothing's ever open and shut in criminal cases. Remember, the burden is a great one, beyond a reasonable doubt. But I will say that involuntary intoxication is not a defense for any crime in Florida. So for her to claim that she was drunk and therefore she passed out, it's not a defense. It's going to be whether she was second-degree murder, whether she basically evinced a depraved mind, and some of her comments back to him as he's gasping.
She's going to be convicted of something, but it's like, what is it going to be? Is it going to be second or manslaughter?
And pleading for help to open up that suitcase would be second-degree murder. The better case for them to be arguing in great likelihood will be involuntary manslaughter. And that would simply suggest that she had some sort of heat of the moment or her negligence. She did fall asleep, and therefore she didn't intend to kill him. She intended to bother him, or teach him a lesson, and then she crashed. That would arguably go to involuntary manslaughter with no intent but negligence, and that would
I actually think that's what happened.
Be a far lesser penalty. That's capped at 15 years. Manslaughter could be life.
So second degree is 15 years, and manslaughter?
No, manslaughter
is 15-year cap. Second degree murder could be up to life.
That lawyer actually flipped it around. The commentator was just trying to, I think he knew what he meant. He was trying to clarify it.
And each of them have pretty much of a minimum, whereas you're looking at about 17 years minimum on a second degree murder if the judge showed much mercy, and about 9.5 years on a manslaughter. So
I don't think the judge is going to show mercy.
The penalties are far less, and that might be the way to go. You go for an attempt to get an acquittal, realizing you're giving the jury an option if you're a defense lawyer, so that they could come in for something less if they didn't want to go all the way and suggest that she had a depraved mind here.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNation Now.
He's probably tried to get the prosecutors to offer that plea of like a manslaughter, but I don't think the prosecutor wants that. He's going for second. And that's what it is. So I have a news thing up. I thought we would read this and then we'll call it a day. This is Parawoman Radio, and I'm Amy, and we're going over the Sarah Boone case, the woman who zipped her husband up in a suitcase. We're going to read a news article, and then after that, on another day, we'll go through her interrogation, both at the house, and we'll go through the body cam and all of that stuff for her court date on April 10th, because Parawoman Radio, we're going to be at this case because it's happening in Florida, really close to me. So, Sarah, okay, so this is the Sarah Boone's case. And if you could give this live a thumbs up, smiley, a happy, and if you like my content, be sure to subscribe. Let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. You are. So Sarah Boone case, attorney plans to argue battered spouse defense in 2020 death of Boone's boyfriend. Okay, it happened in 2020. Winter Park, Florida, the defense attorney, where's my phone? Let's see. How far is Winter Park? 72 miles from me. So I know she's in Orange County, but it's not that far. The defense attorney representing Sarah Boone, a Florida woman charged with second-degree murder after her boyfriend died inside a suitcase in 2020, said he plans to use a battered spouse defense when her case goes to trial, which is expected to happen this year. During a pretrial hearing on Tuesday, January 17th, the defense attorney told the judge that the case is not ready for trial and that he needs some time. Okay. The judge set a pretrial conference for March 28th with a possible trial happening the week of April 10th. A status conference was set for the end of January. I think this is wrong. I think that it's been set. When was this written? When was it? January 17th. I think this is wrong. Or I'm wrong. I got to make sure I'm not wrong. Florida woman charged was, let's see, this one was on March 13th. The pretrial conferences for a Florida woman accused of zipping her boyfriend into a suitcase regarding his repeated cries for help and leaving him locked inside until he died is set to begin this month. Sarah Boone, 42, faces second-degree murder charges and the death of 42. Okay, so the pretrial conferences must be happening in March. Where's March 28th is next Tuesday. Okay, well, I'm going to really try to be there. I've got something going on that's like almost destroying me. But again, I'm trying for a miracle. A pretrial conference was set for March 28th with a possible trial happening the week of April 10th. Okay, so the pretrial conference is on March 28th, and if they don't settle there, then the week of April 10th. So I think we're going to wrap things up now. Thank you for being here, everyone. I want to thank everyone for watching this. I am so grateful that you are here with me and that we're taking this path together, even if we're just for this video. If you could give my live a thumbs up, a happy face, a heart, however you do it. Even if you don't like it, I like to hear about it. It all helps me dance out into the algorithm, bring more people back to the party. Just a free way to help me out, and it's so appreciated. I want to say hi to all my new subscribers. I'm glad you're here, and a big thank you to all my current subscribers, my old subscribers. Thank you for supporting me. I'm really grateful. And so we're going to do some lives on the Boone case so that we can be caught up and all knowledgeable about the case. And hopefully you'll want to watch it with me. And okay, so we're going to be together again soon, really soon. I promise. I promise, because I love you and I want to see you again soon too. So if no one's told you today, I'm telling you, I love you and I'm grateful for you. Bye, everyone.
Wells, a girl who's been missing out of Hawkins County for more than a year, has been released from jail. Wells was not serving time in connection with his daughter's disappearance, instead for a DUI arrest in October of 2021. This past summer, Wells had a 6-month hearing where the judge decided he would be released this week without having to complete any rehabilitation. During his time behind bars, he wrote letters to his daughter's alleged captors. To date, nobody has been charged in her disappearance.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.